gap rules. We've got a kind of a inflection level between closing the gap between the settlement and where we are right now. So, you know, it's kind of indicative of a market that you want to look at getting into relatively early. The opening range is neither the high nor the low. We're starting to set up a little bit of a range type situation here. So I'm going to be looking for our high and probably this 1650 level to look for opportunities today. Here's the euro. The euro has kind of fallen into downside digestion, as might be expected. We've been pretty down pretty hard here for quite a while. We took a rest yesterday. Very little change in open interest. We added 600 in open interest. Volume fell off yesterday. You know, volume looks to be pretty good for this morning so far, but kind of looking at this as a kind of a digestive area. So if we don't get our face rip and rally and we range here for a while, that may be enough to adjust inventory for our next move, either to the downside or to the upside. Look where we are. We found support here at this 0800 level. It would be an interesting level for us today. Also, to look for an execution if we even get the opportunity. The market tested below it overnight, tested below it just before the open. It's been one time framing higher since the open. I'm not necessarily interested in fighting this move to the upside. You know, I don't know, but we've been kind of suspecting there may be a face rip and rally in this because the market has been pretty sold off pretty hard. You may be a little bit oversold down here. You think maybe. So I'm not going to fight this move to the upside. I mean, if I'm going to try and buy a weakness in it, I'll try and find a pullback to see if I can get some more continuation of this. There was no real overnight inventory with which to speak of, so this may be new business coming back into this market. And finally, the Japanese yen. Wow. Okay.
Pew.
The big volume yesterday, big open interest jump. 22,000 contracts added on that big breakout move to the downside yesterday. The level that I have here, okay, this 89.25 is a swing low from back in March of 2019. It has found a little bit of support at that swing low right here. The next swing low I see goes back to 2018 in November. It's 27.67. 87.67. So it would be another considerable move to the downside. Money is coming into this market on the short side with the increase in volume and that 22,000 boost in open interest. Here we are. So the continuation to the downside, we're holding some overnight shorts. That low is so close to that swing low from back in 2019, 89.25, let's call it 89.25. I've lost my charts here. Come on back. Okay, here we go. So we've got a gap. We're working gap rules, right? If we can't close the gap relatively early, I'll look for a continuation or a breakout below that previous swing low, below our overnight low here. If we can't take out that overnight low, then we may see our gap close move back to settlement if we are indeed holding overnight shorts in weaker hand money in this market. So it's a lot of information, and hopefully it was you got some clarity on some of the things that we're looking at, some of the things that I'm looking at, and let's see what JD has to say. The Dancing Bear, how are you?
Very good, thanks, John. Good morning, everyone. So global stocks were mixed to lower overnight. The S&P 500 futures breaking a new all-time high, but couldn't break that 3,400 level again. We continue to see sellers coming in at new highs in the stock market. Today, Thursday, is typically the most volatile day of the week. We definitely have the biggest economic calendar of the week today. Yesterday, I'm just going to talk about the S&P 500 futures for a little bit. Yesterday was the lowest volume day we saw of the week. There was just over 1 million contracts traded, right around 1.1 million. Already this morning, there's close to 400,000 contracts traded overnight. Now, thinking about that, I would typically want to use today as sort of a two-way trade, or I would look for a two-way trade, but there's a couple other things to keep in mind. The VIX keeps flirting with the 15 area. It's traded above there a couple times already this morning. I think it's about to break through again. The ES has not traded below its 10-day moving average in more than 2 weeks. And if you track the New York Stock Exchange closing imbalances, yesterday there was close to $2 billion worth of stock to sell MOC. Those closing imbalances are a great way to track sentiment. So what I'm going to be looking for today, if we hit that 10-day moving average on heavy volume, it could be a quick trip down to 33.40. Here are those moving averages. I've been talking about these for about a week now, how much I love these short-term moving averages. So the 5-day is at 33.79, 10-day at 33.67, and 20-day at 33.42. So below 33.67 on heavy volume this morning, we could see another dump real quick. Actually, I'm thinking I might run another Twitter poll on that. If you're not following us on Twitter already, check us out at Top Step Trader. But I'm going to throw out a poll in there a little bit. Where do you think the next 50 handles are going in the S&P 500 futures, higher or lower? So keep an eye on that for later on this morning. A couple of side notes. We had some bizarre news out of China last night. As John mentioned, confirmed cases are increasing outside the country. They're starting to kick foreign journalists out of the country. And I read it this morning that they are once again changing the criteria for the way that they are counting confirmed cases of the coronavirus. It's just disturbing news. So let's move on from there. On a lighter note, I also read a good story out of the Wall Street Journal that Morgan Stanley is purchasing E-Trade for $13 billion, and what they're saying is the biggest takeover by a bank since the financial crisis. That's a pretty big bet on the little guy, and it tells me that people have some money to spend. I really like it. That's what I got for you today. So I'm going to be following those headlines. Keep an eye on the economic calendar. There's a lot of Treasury activity, a lot of auctions and announcements, and quite a few numbers, a little bit of Fed speak also. So keep your eye on the headline. Don't get caught up in the jibber jabber. Speaking of which, did anybody catch that dumb debate last night? It reminded me of that the old Muppet Show Variety Hour. Is there any chance we could close with that song? Have a great day, everyone.
All right, thank you, JD, and as always, thanks to all of you for joining us. Thanks for the comments and questions. I'm just going to kind of go through here and see if there's anything I can answer right now. I want to give everybody a chance to be prepared for the equity open. Mr. Shiner's first bad trade in the combine. Well, it does happen, but that's why we are here. Remember risk management. Always play stops, trade close to points of invalidation for the trade. I'm sure you'll get things back on the right side here soon. This is Mr. Shine's Mystery Channel. Question settling stops. Setting stops, yeah, that's... All right, I think we're gonna go. We're gonna call this a day. Good morning, B2 and King Ferris. Yes, King Ferris. Or Craig Ferris is talking about the two old men in the upper box made the Muppet Show. Statler and Waldorf. Yep, that were their names. All right. We are going to take our deep breath. Stay humble, grateful, and creative today. Say a prayer for everybody afflicted in the world today, and let's get on the right side. We'll be back at 3 o'clock for the market recap. Hope to see you there. Trade well.
Alright guys, morning again. It's level 2 here. Alright, we open my secondary stream. Just make sure if you're there, was there on the first side. Come on the side. Yeah, we're just looking at some stuff for Top Step guys here. Alright, so we're looking at selling this 54.20 here. On the open, our stops are at 54.50. We want to be protected by that 54.40 level which we identified. You could do a lag and stop if you so wish. Looking at selling through the EIA, we are allowed to sell through the EIA. Make sure if you're on Top Step that you don't have anything through the EIA, you are flat. There's the magic nub button. So you're looking to fade that 20, 54.20 to 30 area. 30 is your optimal entry. We do have a buy here sitting for the open right here 69 and 71. We measure it out and we do have a sell at 91. We know exactly where our stops are. If you want to be close with your stops, make sure that you're able to quickly re-enter or exit the trade. We got off a pretty good one last night there at the 90s of point of control, took our profits, so not too badly off there. Right, you can see where that is. We have this order book here. Where is my stuff? Alright, so what is this? Why? My email good. What the hell? I'm gonna see if I can pull up this stream here and see if it's working. How do I be talking to this guy? Oh, look at a lot of futures guys outside here. I just do my stuff for my personal as well, so right, so I'm not seeing my stuff up. May need to restart this stream, the complete stream. So let me just get this done.